Big Mac, Princess for a Night. So, this is a fun one, clearly. So, even the scene it's from was just pure fun. A lot of people guessed that this was going to be the secret rare of High Magic, and it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, everyone loved the scene. Let's be honest here. Everyone loved the scene, and it was screaming to be a card, and it was kind of screaming to be the secret rare. Let's just be fair here. So, what exactly does Big Mac do for you, right? Well, first off, he's a 3 for 4. Sorry, he's a 4 for 3. 4 power, 3 cost, and he only has 3 rec. That means you can play him off of any flipped orange main. A lot of the really powerful orange cards right now require you to have 4 orange rec. But he doesn't. He's only 3. That's actually pretty relevant, because that opens him up to Spike and to Luna without you needing another friend in play. Also, for Mod and AJ, it's rare, but sometimes they can get stuck at 3 power, and then, again, you can't play those 4 rec cards. So, Big Mac, on the other hand, 3 rec, you're good to go immediately. And once he's in play, he's actually really freaking good. With Diligent 1, that's fine, right? But I mean, 4 for 3 with Diligent 1, that's pretty above rate already. But then he has the ability to spend +1 counters, only +1 counters that are on him to flip an additional card if he's involved in the face-off. So let's think about that. First, you win 1 face-off, and he gets 1 +1 counter. Then, the next time he's involved in a face-off, if you need more power for whatever reason, you can give him -1 power to flip an additional card. And unless you have 1s or 0s in your deck, that's always going to wind up being better. So he can wind up being a lot of power. And of course, if you don't need that extra flip, you can just decide, well, I'm not going to flip an extra card, and next time you'll have 2 counters or 2 flips or whatever the heck you need. So he can provide a ton of power provided you win 1 face-off with him. And once you won that 1 face-off, you can just pretty much guarantee you're going to win the rest. Not 100%, but pretty close. So he can get pretty beefy, and he will just continue helping you win face-offs, so long as he's involved in them, of course. But honestly, to me, that's not the most interesting part about him. There are other cards that already do that. There's Protective Big Sis, there's of course Carbo Loader, there's Crystal Pinkie Pie. Flipping extra cards by itself, while good, isn't new and exciting. Is he worth running? Depends on your deck, but I know some people who do run him, and that's great. But that alone really just does not excite me. What really does excite me is, of course, his Chaos Text. Now, this Chaos Text is interesting for a very, very specific reason. He doesn't say friend. He says characters. So, what this means is you can put counters on your main. You can put the only main in the game that can have +1 counters on it, outside of using Big Mac, is Applejack. No other main in the game can get those +1 counters, and Applejack can only get them through her Diligent ability. But Big Mac can put +1/+1 counters, or not +1/+1, what game is this? +1 power counters on any friend or character you control. So, and you can also divvy them up. You can put 1 on one and 1 on another, but typically you're probably going to put 2 on your main, because they're safe there on your main. There's currently no way to remove counters from a main. You can't frighten it, you can't dismiss it, so those counters are just there forever, and it's huge, and that's one of the reasons why AJ is powerful, is because she can just get big and stay big, and there's nothing the opponent can do about it. So, What does this open up? A few things, actually. One really fun thing could be using the Blue Luna main, and suddenly you've got a 5-power main that can just dash to problems all the time, and you can easily confront problems there. Another real fun trick, I think, would actually be to run it in purple. Maybe some weird blue-purple aggro deck that's splashing Big Mac, even though you can't actually play Big Mac, you're just using it for the chaos. You use purple to put Big Mac on top of your deck, start a face-off of some sort to put the counters on Luna, and then you've got a bigger Luna, and if you're using the Canterlot Knight's Spike that puts the card from the bottom of your deck on top of your deck, you can just keep starting face-offs and keep making really, really big Luna. And that could be super fun, especially if you threw in like the magic duels, so you can start face-offs on command. Because Big Mac does not have to put counters on characters involved in the face-off, just characters, period. So yeah, that's kind of just a really fun thing. I kind of want to see someone build a deck based off of him just making your main huge and being really silly about that. It's like, oh yeah, let's have a, I don't know, 13 power Pinkie Pie, because reasons. I mean, come on. That's just fun, right? So, now, of course, there is a few more important details to mention here. He is the first card with a single character in the art to have 2 pony traits at the same time. He is an Alicorn and an Earth Pony. Now, there are some other characters that are friends. Well, characters is correct because we have the CMC main that have multiple pony traits, but all of them have multiple characters in the art. The CMC have all 3 CMC, Lyra and Bonbon have Lyra and Bonbon, etc., etc. But Big Mac, by himself, I mean, there are other ponies in the background, but they don't count. They're the background ponies. It's only Big Mac, and he's an Alicorn and an Earth Pony. Well, what does that do for you? Well, unless you're using the Celestia from the Celestial Solstice main set, the Alicorn is honestly not going to help you at all, unfortunately. Nothing in the game cares about Alicorns except her, to my knowledge anyway. So basically he's just a really fancy Earth Pony. And he also has the Chaotic trait, of course, which matters for the element of surprise. I think that's the only card in the game right now that cares about Chaotic, but again, fun stuff. Oh no, of course it's not. There are the resources that care when you flip a Chaotic card, like a Tiny Glass of Water, or Tempting Offer and all of that stuff. So you could throw him in those kind of decks as well, because he is Chaotic. So yeah, I think Big Mac's a really, really fun card. And not only is he a really, really fun card, I think he's also just a really, really good card. Is he going to be played in every orange deck competitively ever? No. He'll be played in some of them, especially the ones that are not using Applejack or Mod as their main, because, like I said, with that 3 rec, you can play him off of a flipped Spike or a flipped Luna, and go to town. So, is he the... yeah, so I think he's really good. He's a good alternative to Carbo Loaders. He's not a replacement for Carbo Loaders, I think. I think Carbo Loader is still a far, far superior card, but he's still really good with Carbo Loader. And he's really good, or a really good replacement for Carbo Loader, rather, if you don't have Carbo Loaders, or if you just can't afford the 4 rec for whatever reason. So, yeah. Princess Big Mac. He's just a great card. Oh, okay, he's not Princess Big Mac. He is Big Mac Princess for a Night. I'm actually kind of sad he's not Princess Big Mac. I think that would have been funnier. But, you do what you can. I do believe that makes him the only Alicorn besides Nightmare Moon to not have Princess in the title. How's that for you? So yeah, I think that's about it for Princess Big Mac. Thank you very much, Nation, for submitting that. Next time, we will be talking about our second resource. This one's also purple, actually. Crystal Force Field. This is actually a really interesting one. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be discussing quite yet, but I think this could be an interesting card to talk about. So yeah, I think that's about it for today, guys. Sorry this one's so late, but it's going to be here for you tomorrow if you guys are already asleep. I guess you already know that if you are listening to this. So yeah, that's it for tonight, guys. I will catch you in the next one. See you later.